Hey guys, this is Claude, and just as an instructional video with details. Contrary to the title, it's not going to be a how to change your seals on a GL 1100. It's not going to be that long. As you can see, I'm working on the Goldwing, and this is a 1982 GL 1100. And as you can see, I've got the engine out. I've got quite a few things removed. The fairings have been removed, and so at the same time we're changing fork seals because they're so accessible. And this side here was was leaking quite a bit, and it had smeared the entire fork assembly, and the brake assembly is all cruddy and black. So decided we'd change the fork seals at the same time. Thought it'd be a quick job, and turned out to be a little more intense than I had hoped. So as far as details go, when you're removing the forks on this kind of bike, brake calipers do need to come off. It's better, and as far as I can tell, it's actually better if you can remove the fork entirely as opposed to leaving it on the bike to change the seal. Here's a close-up of the dust cap that has been removed. And what I did is I put some penetrating lubricant down here just to get out the gunk and loosen any rust that might be down there. Put that in quite a few days ago, and that's proven to be helpful. When I'm taking out the snap ring there, it's tough to get out, but you need a good set of snap ring pliers, and you should be able to get that snap ring out without a problem. The wheel, pretty straightforward to get off. Once your brake calipers are off, you take the wheel off, and that's pretty straightforward. As far as changing the seals themselves and details, if you're looking for a very good instructional video, I have to give a shout out to Cody at Motorcycle MD. He's got a YouTube channel and an awesome video on how to change fork seals on a Goldwing GL 1500, and that has proved to be a really great reference for myself. Even if this is a GL 1100, the fork seals are pretty much the same on this one, and that's what I'm using as far as instruction goes. Parts are a little different, but you're pretty much looking at the same thing. So as far as details go, in my opinion, now that I'm halfway through this job, I only need to reassemble the fork, put it back on the bike, and then start the other one. So my details that I'd like to share with you guys at this point are the following. Contrary to popular belief, and contrary to a lot of videos out there, you do not have to take the top cap off of the fork in order to change the seals. There's no reason to do that unless you want to access the springs in order to change them for some kind of upgraded suspension, upgraded spring, like some kind of progressive spring that is available. I did not want to do that, and I didn't feel the need to get into that that level of work at this point. What I did have a lot of trouble with, and I'll show you something in just a few minutes, was the bottom bolt, which goes down here. Okay, right now it's disassembled, so it's this bolt right here that gave me a lot of trouble. That was very difficult to come off. But first I want to show you something else. In order to take the fork off, all right, while I've got the bike in focus here, you need to unbolt three bolts, really. Loosen up 3 bolts. You got the top one here, which is at the handlebars. You got the counterweight and the triple tree itself. So all those bolts need to be loosened. They don't need to come off. Just loosened is enough. And then you're able to pull out the fork and get it in your hands in order to change it. What I did while the bike was disassembled is I took the choke lever off to give me access to this little hose, which has to come off. Remember to take the air pressure out of your forks before you take them off, or else you're going to end up with a bath or a hydraulic oil shower. So that being said, once your fork is out and you are are looking at changing the, actually getting it disassembled to change the seals, okay, this bolt here is the first thing that needs to come off. After you've taken the snap ring out, I mean. The snap ring comes out first, then you're looking at removing this bolt here. And what I thought I could do was just hammer it out using a manual impact driver. And that's what I'd been told would be ideal or fine for getting out. Even Cody on Motorcycle MD's channel, that's what he uses, and apparently it works every time. Now, for me, that didn't work at all. I mean, I hammered on that thing, not just tapped it, but whacked it as hard as I could for, you know, 5-10 minutes, and nothing was budging. So what I did is I took out my DeWalt 20 volt, pretty strong impact driver, and put a lot of effort into it. I mean, I cranked that sucker for a good 30 seconds, and then another 40 seconds, and then another minute, and until the battery ran out, and I changed batteries and I tried again, and nothing would budge. So what I think might have happened is there was a lot of Loctite that had been applied to the bolt last time the seals were changed, or maybe directly from the factory. I don't know. I don't see any Loctite here, but there's a possibility that there was some Loctite on there, and so that's probably why it was a little hard to get out. What I finally ended up using was this sucker here, an electric impact driver. And as soon as I put pressure on that, I mean, I had to borrow this from my neighbor because I don't have one. So as soon as I borrowed it, I was a little nervous about stripping the head of the bolt out if it did spin, but I put a lot of weight on it, got the whole fork in a vise before doing anything, and as soon as I put a little bit of pressure on the bolt and spun it out, boom, this sucker did it. This is the tool you need if your bolt is stuck and you can't get it out. So wrapping this up, I'm going to be doing a seal change only. The bushings here seem to be fine. I mean, you're supposed to have a coat of, it looks like graphite. You're supposed to have a coat of graphite on the outside here, and there's a coat of graphite. So as long as it's gray and you don't have any bare spots or spots that seem to be worn out, you're fine. So these do not need to be changed. You don't even need to take them off. I mean, you can slide this one out and take a look at it, and that's fine. So other than changing the seals, the actual oil seal, as well as the dust cap, that'll be it for this job. And that's usually pretty much everything anybody will ever need. And the only other tip that I can give you guys is to make sure and polish up your fork, okay? I was looking at this one, and there was quite a few pits and quite a few dents on it. Not quite a few, but a couple of places where I polished it up using quadruple zero steel wool, and that's what I needed to polish it up. I'm going to finish with a coat of wax on the tube itself before putting it all back together, just to fill up any gaps. And again, this is a trick I got from Cody at Motorcycle MD, so big thanks to him and putting his video out there. So if you guys are getting this done or thinking of getting it done, I hope this helps, and good luck with putting your seals, upgrading your seals on your bike. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now.